I'll try to keep this as short and snappy as possible. It's very interesting. When I was informed that I was speaking about youth unemployment, I forgot actually that I had actually faced it myself. And so I'm speaking to something that hits home, something that I can understand. So when people cry that we should fix Ghana and they say that they are tired and they are fed up, I can fully understand and relate and empathize. I'll just quickly, before I even say what the solutions and how this can be fixed. When you talk about youth unemployment, if you look at data, it talks about, the World Bank talks about the fact that unemployment in Ghana, in Ghana and specifically, is 12%. So youth unemployment is 12%, and underemployment is over 50%. Thank God the consensus is going to be happening, so maybe we'll get more data as a result. But unemployment and underemployment are two different things. So unemployment, you don't have a job, you're looking for a job. Underemployment is when people are in jobs where their skills are not being utilized or they are being paid very low. I came to Ghana in 2017, actually 2016, but 2017 there. And I came with 3 degrees, excited I was about to change the world and get the best job ever and make as much money as I could. And I came to Ghana and I had no job for 2 years. I was underemployed. I earned 600 cedis a month teaching French part-time. Someone told me, oh, go and work at the bank. And I said, look, this bank, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't like numbers. That is not my area of expertise. I studied international trade law. And so I came with an MPhil. I had a postgraduate degree and postgraduate honors degree in international relations and politics and an undergraduate degree in psychology. And I'll tell you that, obviously, even at that time, mental health was not a thing. Somebody is not even, my sister has a mental health background. She's a therapist. So even for her, when she came to Ghana, I was like, what is she going to do with a mental health degree? Because people would rather go to church. And because mental health is only limited to the idea of something that is spiritual, not necessarily the fact that the same way you take care of your body is how you must take care of your mind. So there are many young people who have skills but are underemployed. They are working in spaces that are not utilizing their gifts and their skills. So to speak about unemployment and what the solution would be, before I want to talk about what I actually feel and I propose to help curb the issues of crime that could come up as a result, if you look at, there are some proposed solutions, and one of the key things is to align formal education programs and skills with development initiatives in context of a fast-changing labor market. So the labor market is changing drastically, and you need to think of how do you create your formal education, have programs that incorporate the skills that are changing, are needed in the market. So one thing is, I was in the University of Cape Town, that's where I got my MPhil degree from, and the South African government will always pump money into tertiary education programs, looking at what the need was for the economy. So let's say they look at, okay, fine, in the next 5 years, we're going to need engineers. So you think, okay, let's pump more money into the engineering program to give more funding there. Or let's say, for example, Ghana, we need more farmers that are skilled. What you do is that you begin to pump more money to get people to go and study farming for free. Because obviously people want to go to school, but if they're thinking, hey, there's a scholarship to go and learn farming, let me go do that. So government begins to look at the needs in the society and begins to make sure formal education is being shaped to solve that problem. The other thing is partner with private sector, such as involving employers in the design of training curricula and introducing certifications for occupational standards in order to adapt to the future of work. So we have so many big companies in Ghana. We have Coca-Cola, we have manufacturing companies, we have law firms. How do you begin to liaise with these people to be able to design curricula and programs in the educational system that will enable your young people to get work when they are done? Because the same people say you don't have work experience, come back later. You need 10 years work experience. Where do I get 10 years work experience when I'm at the age of 25, 24? But at the end of the day, also, the thing is about giving people a chance. And if your educational system is training people to do that, these companies can take them on right after school because they would have gotten some form of experience through the design programs and also even through internship that they can have with these companies. The other thing I'll say is integrate pre-employment support activities as part of the country's current educational system to better prepare young people for the transition to work. So pre-employment support is what would be the key skills people need. You are employing a lot of young people who are actually working right now, and they say they have a master's degree. Ask them to even do a letter. And you are like, my goodness, what is going on here? So people are struggling. They don't have basic skills, even interpersonal skills or basic things of how to even handle pressure or stress. People are very entitled. Where will I go? I want lunch and stuff like that. So even the mentalities of how do you prepare young people for work, the workspace. Another thing I spoke about is promote social inclusion initiatives to improve access to credit and management training for women entrepreneurs, as well as improve both infrastructure and equipment available for persons living with disabilities and ensure that no one is left behind. One thing I'll say is this: we know that our informal sector is actually dominated a lot by women and SMEs. Ghana right now, the informal sector caters to almost 70 to maybe 80% of jobs in Ghana. And so one of the key things is that we need to look at, and who are in these spaces is women. So how do we support women in businesses, and how do we support SMEs? Because SMEs actually, based on data, account for employment. I mean, they give jobs to over 60% of the population. So how do we support these small businesses in the informal sector? The last thing I want to talk about is that there's a need for greater collaboration among different stakeholders to reduce duplication and fragmentation of youth employment programs. I've noticed that in Ghana, or even like in different parts of the world, whenever there's an initiative, everybody has different ideas. Okay, so we have one group fighting for, so many groups fighting for the same thing. How do we have a collaboration so that we are working together, not competing or working against each other, but working together for the same goals? But what do I propose? I personally think that one of the critical ages, if you look at Ghana's population, they say that over 57% of our population is actually below the age of 25. And I want to put this challenge to the government. Believe me that the greatest resource that we have in Ghana is not our gold, it's not the oil, it is not any natural resources, it's the human brain. Africans are some of the most dynamic, Ghanaians especially, I'll say, because I'm a Ghanaian, dynamic individuals you would meet in terms of talent and skills. But we are not investing in the real gold that we have here. Singapore will tell you we don't have any natural resource, so we invest in education, the human brain. When you look at the diaspora and what Ghanaians are contributing overseas to economies, whether it's Europe or the US, it's in the millions. And you're asking yourself, so what was wrong? Was it the problem, the location? Is the problem the person? No, we need to create a system and an environment that allows people to really find their God-given skills. And why do I say this? I propose a 5-year accelerator program that looks at people from the age of 15 to 25. You're not looking at whether it's GSS or SS or anything. We're looking at the age range because it's very critical. In India, for example, people start specializing in their skills. They have engineering programs that start from GSS. They don't wait to SS. So what was happening was that the Ghanaians that came there to study engineering for their undergrad, they couldn't compete because some of the things that they were learning, the kids had learned in primary school, they had learned in SS. So then the engineering programs were so intense. And you see that in India, they drive their own cars. They are driving, one of our biggest trade partners as Ghana is India. The manufacturing, look at the Calipo, all these big manufacturing companies on the Spintex Road. So you're asking yourself that what are we supposed to do? Let us look at a 5-year intensive program, because now, when I studied the industrialization process of China, it began as early as 1911. But they only got it right in 1978. They began the process. And the focus was now shifted to see how they could help the grassroots, those at the bottom. So I'm saying that we are not starting from where China started from. We're not starting from where Europe started from. These are people who started years ago. But one thing they didn't have at the time, they didn't have technology. We have technology now. Our young people, within the space of 5 years, can do extremely well if we can create an ecosystem that allows for people to find their skills very early. And we begin to invest in that. And why am I saying this? Because I personally was one of the below average people. I went to Holy Child, and then when they have the order of merit, I was on the last but one list. And they'll put it out when the boys are coming, so everybody will know. And I'm not even ashamed to tell you on TV. And I'll tell you one story. I left Holy Child, finishing WASI. I had an F in math. And I knew that there was no hope for me because I had failed. And I was going to be one of the normal Ghanaians walking around trying to do Second World War, Third World War. I wrote NOVDEC and I wrote WASI again. So I'll tell you that whether it's World War and Second World War, I faced that. And when I finished, I got a scholarship. I went to India. And I knew that I left Ghana believing I was a below average student because the educational system told me that. The WASI told me that. I get to India and I found myself doing better than all the Indians, even their own programs. I was doing Indian politics at a point in time, and I was writing Indian names that I myself didn't even know how to pronounce. And the Indians were asking, how does this African come and do this? Then it hit me from India. I graduated with a distinction from my degree. I moved on to University of Cape Town, where I got my honors. I got a distinction there. I got a distinction in my law program. I didn't have a law background, I'll tell you this. It's not because I'm intelligent. It's because sometimes we have to create a system to bring out people's skills. And I know that as a Ghanaian, we have to create an environment for our youth to be able to thrive and find their gifts. The best and most talented Ghanaian students are sleeping under bridges. They're on cyber, they're on the net trying to do 419, I said 419, what do you call it in these days? Sakawa, all these things. In America, when a 12-year-old hacks a national federal system, they give them a job quickly in the government. This is what we should be doing. We should start rewarding, not titles like master's degree, PhD. Let's reward people who can produce results. Let's begin to say, what can people produce so that we can reward that? So that if you have an accelerated program, you see, Nkrumah said something, he said, we don't look to the east, we don't look to the west, we look forward. Ghana, we don't have, and Africa doesn't have anybody who has ever experienced a history like we have had. But we have an opportunity to create something that nobody has ever seen before. In a time of technology, we can take our youth, the real resource, the human mind, and transform it with an accelerated program within 5 years. And I tell you this, and I'm proposing this to the government so they will take it seriously. We can share all the details, but how do we take people from the age of 15 to 25 who make up the majority of the population and change their lives? And so talk about crime. One thing about wrongdoing is that sometimes it's just doing, sometimes it's even doing the right thing at the wrong time. Because in some places, if you look at it, what may be a crime in one place may not be a crime in another place. But sometimes people have energy. Misplaced energy, misplaced focus leads to crime, especially for young people. Let's take that energy, let's take that focus and place it in a place where we can give our people skills. And I'll end with one thing. Fix Ghana is not a one-day movement. It's a generational movement. This is a generation that must take Ghana to the next place because we don't want the next generation to come and curse us. We have created a system over the years through whether it's colonization, neo-colonization, of not understanding that it is not by copying other systems that we develop. Development is not buildings. It is people. It is that the man who couldn't eat 3 times a day can eat 3 times because of development, not having skyscrapers that people cannot even afford their rent and everything. So all I propose is that for unemployment to be dealt with, let's look at Ghana's real resource. Our real resource is the youth, their energy, their mental capacity, and that is the way forward for Fix Ghana, for a generational movement. Thank you very much.